to race 5 of the Mars Truck Series. Today we're at Las Vegas for what should be a fun one. We've got a 78 degree track temp, so we shouldn't be sliding around too much. Man, I'm excited. After last week at Talladega, it should wrap us back into the normal mile-and-a-half type stuff. And I'm excited to see what Talladega did for everybody. Is anybody mad from last week? There was a lot of wrecks there at the end. We'll have to see when we get started here. Right now, it looks like we've got, let's see here, 14 drivers here today so far. And we might have some running late. You never know with these things. But we've got 50 seconds left in practice, and then we'll get on to qualifying. Right now, your fastest car is going to be Jared Mayo in the 25 car. His fastest lap is a 30.19. Right behind him is Chris Snyder with a 30.24. Those are two guys that started last week. Chris Snyder, remember, he won last week. He was in the gray kind of chrome car. This week he's in a purple car. And I'm excited to see, he told us in his interview he's going to try and win all these things. Well, he won the first one. And now it's time to see if he can get that second one in a row. On back, we've got Caleb McKinney. Alex Campbell in fourth. He was scared he wasn't going to make the show, but he isn't going to end up making the show. Jarrett Larder, Joshua Neal, Michael Gross, and what more of a better time to go through the standings. Let's look at the standings really fast going into this race. So, in first place, going down all the way to 21st, we've got Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, Gary Donnellan, Caleb McKinney, Jarrett Larder, Cameron Combs, Joshua Neal, Ian Campbell, Michael Smith, Corey Kroll, Wesley Triplett, Casey Gross, Wayne Garland, Brendan Stubbs, Christian Snyder, Adolfo Castillo, Anthony Garland, Quentin Sutton, Jared Mayo, Andrew Deemer, Jeremy Carter, and Johnny Thunders. Tonight, is Wesley here tonight? I didn't see his name. I haven't seen Wesley in a while, so Wesley Triplett did win. He won the first or second race of the year. We haven't seen him since. Hope he's all right. But looks like right now Austin Smith still has a 2-point lead over Brandon Puffenbarger. On further back, it's 10 points back. So right now, with these mile-and-a-halves, if you can remember back, Austin Smith and Brandon Puffenbarger were leading by like 12 seconds. With the two that are on the top of the leaderboard right now in practice, hopefully that's a 4-car breakaway instead of a 2 if it does happen tonight. You never know. Again, we don't have a faster pair. You got to remember with stuff like that. So, anyway, let's go watch some qualifying. Right now, we've got Wayne Garland and Joshua Neal out on track. After his first lap, Joshua Neal is the leader at 30.5. As we get some more cars out on the track, Wayne Garland's going to go back up top for his second lap. It's going to be a 30.4. He's on top of the leaderboard. His qualifying runs over. We got Casey Gross coming around on his second lap here. Let's see what he can do. And across the stripe, that's going to be a 30.48 to slide him into third place. We got Jarrett Larder coming out on the track. He's on his second lap now. Ran a 30.68 his first lap around. Andrew Deemer starting his first lap. Caleb McKinney's on the backstretch, about to start his first lap. Andrew Deemer, first time across the stripe, goes 30.47. We'll have to see what he does here. This is only his second race. I like his Mobil 1, what is that, F-150. Again, Andrew Deemer, this is his second race. Ran Talladega last week. He comes out of turn 4. Let's see where he goes. Jarrett Larder with his second lap ran a 30.45. That's going to put him in second place. Andrew Deemer across the stripes going to be 30.44 for second place. Who do we have still running on the track? Caleb McKinney's coming around. This is the end of his run, 30.49. So, God, these guys are fast. He touches the grass there. Let's see if that makes it invalid. It does not. 30.44 for Caleb McKinney. That puts him in second, slides Andrew down to third. It looks like that's about all we have on the track right now. Austin Smith. He's got 1 to 2 wins on the race this season. He's your leader in points. I believe he has 1 win. Almost won last week. Corey Kroll almost won last week. As Austin Smith comes around for his first lap. Looks like he's going to run that low lane. So it looks like they're doing two hot laps here. They're not trying to save tires on the first or anything with it being wide open. So first time across the stripe's going to be a 30.48 for Austin Smith. That puts him in 6th. Want to see what he can do on his second time around. Casey Gross, 30.48, 7th. Michael Smith coming across the stripe for his second lap. He's going to end up 30.42 for a hot lap from Michael Smith as Austin Smith comes across. Let's see if he can beat Michael. Across the stripe, gets super low. Let's see where he goes across the line. 30.44 for Austin Smith. And who do we have left on the track? We've got Jared Mayo, Chris Snyder, and Corey Kroll. That's who we've got left. Corey Kroll ran a 31.17. Looks like he might have been running up top with the lap time. That or he got extremely loose. And Corey Kroll across the stripe for his second lap is going to be a hot lap, 30.37. That's the pole for Corey Kroll so far. Jared Mayo and Chris Snyder left. Can one of them beat this time? It looks like they did the same strategy as Corey Kroll, running up a little bit, trying to get a better speed going into the second hot lap. As Chris Snyder crosses the line first here, he's going to be a 30.34. There's the pole for Chris Snyder. What about Jared Mayo? He's our last car left. 30.42, that slides him up to 5th place. But Chris Snyder so far has the pole. Now, we have a few drivers that haven't qualified yet. Brandon Puffenbarger, Gary Donnellan, and Alex Campbell. You know, Alex Campbell so far this season has had great qualifying, and it just something happens throughout the race. So maybe he's just trying to start in the back. Brandon Puffenbarger's been doing a lot of time in the back this season, but it doesn't matter. He's been finishing up front, so maybe that's by design. Gary Donnellan as well. Gary Donnellan's one of those guys that's always up front. Got 28 laps to 30 laps on a fuel run tonight. 28 laps to 30 laps. We'll be doing 4 laps total. 104 laps total. Let's pull up the race info tab, see if it has anything worth knowing. There you go. We're at Las Vegas. Nice mile and a half. 77 degrees. The track temp again is 78, so not too bad. We got a 3-mile-an-hour wind. Shouldn't be that much of a problem for anybody. And how much time do we have left here to qualify? I'm not showing any time whatsoever. Alex Campbell's out on the track, but I'll tell you what we can do. We can do that right there. We got about 2.5 minutes left on qualifying, guys. 2.5 minutes. So here comes Alex Campbell. This is his first lap. And it looks like he watched those other guys qualify. Now he's gonna try to do the same thing. He's gonna run up top. Let's see what he does here in 3 and 4. He's going to do the same thing. So all those other guys, well, no, looks like he's sliding down now. But all those other guys, the later we got on the qualifying session, the faster these guys got. So let's see what happens here. This first lap's going to be slow. That puts him in 12th with a 30.99. Now he's wrapping that bottom. He's going to bring it all the way up top. Oh, he takes it to about the middle. That might have scrubbed off a little time, maybe. With it being full throttle, he might be fine. Might even helped him. He goes down to the white line, gets a little bit of extra grip. I think this is going to be a pretty quick lap. We'll have to wait and see. As he comes through the stripe here, Alex Campbell's going to run a 30.39. He's your third driver in the 30.3s. Now we're looking at Gary Donnellan, who's on his first lap. He's going to take it a lot closer to that wall. Try not to scrub any speed whatsoever. Cuts it down to the bottom. 32.3. 2 seconds off the pace. Let's see what he can do on his second lap here. It's going to wrap it around in turn 3 and 4, try and stay as low as possible, bring it up to that wall, and then cut straight down the track. Try and make your line as short as possible. And here he goes across the stripe. That's going to be a 30.39 for third place for Gary Donnellan. I believe that's it. No, Brandon Puffenbarger. I guess Brandon Puffenbarger, maybe he got a penalty or something that's not letting him qualify. So you never know. But I believe that's going to be your starting grid. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh, sun went down. We've got a night race in Vegas. All right, and all right, let's look at your starting grid. It's going to be Chris Snyder on the pole, Corey Kroll, Gary Donnellan, Alex Campbell, Wayne Garland, Michael Smith, Jarrett Mayo, Caleb McKinney, Andrew Deemer, Austin Smith, Jarrett Larder, Joshua Neal, Casey Gross, and Brandon Puffenbarger in 15th. So we got 15 cars on the grid tonight. Should be a good one. We shouldn't have too hot of a track temp. Let's see if the temperature changed any with the time change. It went down to 70. So let's check our track temp really fast. The track temp's all the way at 71 degrees. So these guys should have quite a bit of grip tonight to mess around with. And one driver I want to talk about is Corey Kroll. Man, he was so close last week. Couldn't quite get it to come together. Let's pull him up in the booth. He's starting P2 tonight. P2 for Corey Kroll. Hey, Corey, this is Nate up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's going on, Nate?
Man, you were so close last week. Almost got that first win of the season. Starting P2 today. What are you going to do to get it in victory lane?
Just try to save my tires and try to stay up with these guys. Just stay out of it, I guess. Stay out of the trouble.
All right, man. Well, I don't want to hold you for too long. We wish you the best of luck tonight and staying out of trouble, and we hope to see you at the end.
All right, thanks, man.
See ya. Man, I hope he can get his first one tonight. And we've got something on the screen. What is that? Here they come around. Look at that. Austin Smith in the back. I'm not seeing Brandon Puffenbarger on the track, guys. Brandon Puffenbarger's not on the track. Andrew Deemer, he missed, looks like he missed the start. He did not grid in time, so he'll have to start from the pits here. as Chris Snyder brings him around. Got 104 laps, 28 to 30 laps on a fuel run. Had a lot go down. Chris Snyder won last week at Talladega. He's starting right where he ended, on the pole in that purple Mountain Dew car. Wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. Got Corey Kroll on the outside, the guy who had it right in his hands last week. There was a late wreck. He ended up in the wall. He's starting up in on the front row, trying to get some redemption. As the truck goes off.
Green.
There's your green flag, green flag. Ignore the lights. I don't know what's going on up there. There they go. They're off. Sweet. Chris Snyder with a great start into one. Gary Donnellan might be able to slide up past Corey Kroll here. He is. Let's go on back. Look at the battle for third here. Looks like they're pretty tight. Alex Campbell running that top lane. Corey Kroll up there. Jared Mayo back up in 6th or 7th. And Chris Snyder with a great start. He's going to lead lap 1 around here. Looks like they're all starting to even out. With how fast this truck is, or around this track, you know, with the grip that they have, everybody running that low lane, you don't want to be single file like that eventually. Like Corey said, you don't want to burn his tires up. It looks like he's doing a pretty good job poking that nose out a little bit, trying to get some clean air on that nose. Austin Smith looks like he has some work to do. Let's ride along with him. Usually he's one of the guys that's, 4 or 5 seconds ahead. He's got some work cut out for him tonight. As there's Andrew Deemer coming off of pit road. And he's going to start. Looks like he's a lap down. Might have got caught speeding off of pit road at the start of the race. It's Corey Kroll and Wayne Garland. Looks like they're zeroing in on Chris Snyder here. He's probably going to want to keep the lead, keep some clean air on that truck. Alex Campbell goes down. Looks like he might try to move here. He's going to back off. Got his teammate, Freedom Motorsports, Jarrett Larder, right behind him. Caleb McKinney's going to make a move on Jarrett to the inside here. And it looks like Jarrett's just going to let him by. Alex Campbell's going to pop up top, try and give Jarrett some draft help. It looks like Wayne Garland might make attempt to pass for the lead here. Chris Snyder goes up the block, but doesn't quite get there. Wayne's got the better help behind him if Alex sucks in behind him here. And he doesn't. Alex is going to shoot it. Oh, nope. He gets closed in. Alex goes down in front of Corey Kroll. They're 3 wide for 4th. Wayne Garland's going to lead that lap. Can he get around Chris Snyder on the outside here? Got Chris Snyder on the inside, Wayne on the outside. Wayne's going to get a great push out of Jarrett Larder here on the backstretch. Is it enough to go down? He does. He clears Chris Snyder here. And Wayne Garland is your leader at Las Vegas. Now Jarrett's in that position to make a move. Looks like he's going to try and go up top. He's going to do a crossover on Wayne. Wayne went up and tried to block him. Now Jarrett's on your inside. Jarrett Larder's going to try and lead a lap. He's clear. Now he's going to slide up in front of Wayne. And these two cars are kind of performing a little bit of a breakaway here. I bet they'll get sucked back in with this draft, but Your highest I rating in the field tonight is going to be Chris Snyder in 5th. He's your highest I rating. Your highest safety rating is going to be Andrew Deemer with a 4.6. He's a lap down. He's currently in the lucky dog position, though, so not all hope is lost. And that marks 10 laps right there. Jarrett Larder's taking control of this race. His teammate, Alex Campbell's shooting down, trying to pass Joshua Neal on the inside. Looks like he's not quite going to make that pass. He's really close to the quarter panel. Dumped some air on that spoiler. He's way low. Corey Kroll's just kind of hanging out behind him. We'll see what happens here in 1 and 2. It looks like Joshua's going to maintain that position. You've got 9 Chevrolets, 5 Toyotas, and 1 Lonely Ford that's a lap down in tonight's race. You've got Chevrolet, Toyota, Toyota, Chevrolet for the top 5. Look who's made their way to the front. You've got Austin Smith in 3rd. He's your mover of the race so far. 7 positions up. Oh, Jarrett Larder's moved 10 positions up in the lead. As it looks like they're coming up on, who is that? They're getting pretty close to putting Brandon Puffenbarger 10 laps down. So maybe he had an internet issue or something, but he's currently 12 laps down. They're about to put him 13. But again, he's got fresh tires now. He might be able to pull away from these guys. And we've got a long race to go, so you never know what's going to happen here. He's got plenty of time to make it back up and pit strategy and cautions and lucky dogs and whatnot. But right now, Jarrett Larder is the guy to beat in this race as he starts to pull away from everybody. He's got a half-second gap on the field. Looks like we're about halfway through on this fuel run here. Should be about a 3-stop race to make it to the end if they go green. It's Austin Smith trying to make a pass on Wayne Garland for 2nd. He's going to get help from Caleb McKinney. Chris Snyder looks like he might try to slide up top and pass them both. Austin Smith gets a push from Caleb going in. I just don't know. Their tires might be gone. Yeah, it looks like it. Austin gets a big push again on the inside. Now he's got Chris Snyder on his outside. Looks like Jarrett might have done a really good job saving his tires with that clean air. Chris Snyder's going to take Wayne Garland out on the outside. Let's see what kind of tires Chris Snyder has here. If he's able to make, oh yeah, he'll be able to make that pass. Austin Smith might be able to slide in behind him. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to Wayne. He does. So it looks like now you might want to be on that top lane, starting to slide on back. Jarrett Larder still has about a 0.4 of a second gap on Chris Snyder. And he's doing all that running that low lane. Something might be happening to Corey here. Corey slid all the way back to 10th. He's starting in the front row. He started 2nd. He's now in 10th. Looks like he might be able to make a pass here on Joshua Neal. As he looks for the pass on the inside. Larry said these laps are going by fast. They are, Larry. We're already on lap 20. Another thing that everyone over at NLR is excited for is this week we are going to be posting a highlight video of this race. So if you have to go and you miss part of the race, we're going to do a radioactive type highlight video. I couldn't get it quite figured out. Ooh, Alex Campbell. And we're excited to do all that. All this stuff's starting to come together. If you notice, the broadcast looks a little different. We had some drivers stop in and tell us what they wanted changed and what they didn't quite like. And so we changed some stuff about the presentation of the broadcast, and I hope it looks much better now. Gary Donnellan, another one of those drivers, he's 5 positions back. Michael Smith looks like he might start to fall out of the pack here soon. Joshua Neals right there. Jared Mayo, one of the fastest guys in qualifying, is down to 10th. And Chris Snyder takes the lead from Jarrett Larder. Looks like Jarrett's trying to fight on the inside. So he saved his tires, but he might not have saved it enough. You never know with that draft, though. He can keep that nose clean, which looks like he's trying to do he's doing a pretty good job of. That's lap 22, so we're inching closer and closer to qualifying here. Now we've got a 4-car breakaway. We've got 4th, and then Alex Campbell's a second behind. So again, Brandon Puffenbarger was pretty close to this group. Now he's coming on the front stretch here. And his last lap was a 31.5. And so he's about running even with the pack now. He's on an 11-lap run. So as we come into getting closer to the pits, there you see everybody is on a 22-lap tire, so they're getting pretty close. 22 laps. So we should be, pitting here in about 5 laps or so. Now Chris Snyder's starting to pull away. He's got the half-second lead. Austin Smith did let Caleb McKinney by. Looks like Caleb McKinney might try to make a pass for second here. Everybody's just in a search for clean air. Caleb found it there. He's going to have some speed. He's going to get to the quarter panel of Jarrett Larder, get some side drafts. Looks like Jarrett might be able to slide back up. He's not, so Caleb McKinney might get the pass for second here. He does make the pass. Chris Snyder's running that top line. Everybody else is hunting him down on the bottom. We've got about 5 laps left in this pit cycle here. Now it's really starting to stretch out. You look at Alex Campbell, he's back about a second and a half. And then you look at the gap to Wayne Garland. Wayne Garland was really fast in the beginning. You just wonder if he might have burnt some tires up. It's Gary Donnellan's attempting to make a pass on the inside. We've got 12 cars on the lead lap, and it's about a 5-second gap from first to 12th. Andrew Deemer's still 1 lap down. And Brandon Puffenbarger is 10 laps down. As Jarrett Larder's going into pits, he's your first car into pit road. So that should trigger everybody else. Corey Kroll comes down too. Looks like they're going to try and do a little bit of a quick pit on this group. Jarrett Larder, if Chris Snyder, Caleb McKinney, Austin Smith stay out for 3 or 4 more laps, I think that Jarrett Larder will come out your leader. We'll just have to see what everybody else does. And Chris Snyder's going to stay out. Austin Smith is not. Austin Smith's coming in. Chris Snyder, Caleb McKinney still out, and it goes on back to Alex Campbell. Chris Snyder's in. Caleb McKinney's going to come in. Alex Campbell goes in. Gary Donnellan's going to stay out on the lead. We've got a lot of cars in on pit road this time by. So lap 30, everybody comes in. Austin Smith's now out. As Andrew Deemer finds himself back on the lead lap. So best case scenario here. Is he? He might be a lap down still. Andrew Deemer's the first car a lap down. So if a caution comes out right now, Andrew Deemer still gets that lucky dog spot. And he's got, it looks like Andrew, he's going to have to pit here really soon. He's going to run out of fuel. As Chris Snyder comes out, let's see where he and Jarrett reach. Austin Smith's going to make the pass on him. It looks like he might slide in right in front of Jarrett Larder. And it looks like Austin Smith, after everything's said and done for that first green flag stop, is going to be your leader. So we make it all the way 30 laps for a green flag run. And it looks like everybody made it in without incident. There goes Andrew Deemer. Gary Donnellan's in pits. So we had a clean green flag run. And Brandon Puffenbarger, for those who are wondering, is still about, he's 9 laps down, and he'll have to pit here in about 10 laps or so, about 9 laps. And so that now really splits out our group here. Austin Smith's got a second lead. And then on back, it looks like you've got Jarrett Larder, Chris Snyder, Caleb McKinney, Alex Campbell, Corey Kroll, Joshua Neal, Casey Gross, Gary Donnellan, Michael Smith, and Jared Mayo. Jared Mayo is about 13 seconds off he's about 13 seconds off of Austin Smith. And then after that green flag run, Andrew Deemer is going to be 1 lap down, along with Wayne Garland, who is now a lap down. He might have got a speeding penalty. As it looks like Jarrett Larder's starting to close in the gap. Really closing in the gap on Austin Smith. He gained half a second in 3 and 4 alone. That last lap for Austin Smith was a 30.8. Last lap for Jarrett Larder was a 30.39, one of the fastest laps of the race. You just wonder if Austin Smith's kind of trying to save. It dumps some dirty air on Jarrett Larder's nose. Because I think Jarrett was one of the ones that quick pit. Let's look at the pit strategy. So if we look at that, I mean, yeah, they all pitted about the same time, so it shouldn't really matter. Jarrett Larder pit 1 lap before Austin Smith did. Chris Snyder pitted 1 lap after Austin Smith, and it looks like those two are going to bring in the top 4. And then on further back, you've got Austin Smith and Corey Kroll 2.5 seconds back. 3.5 seconds, excuse me. But it looks like we're going to have a 4-car breakaway. Alex Campbell, Corey Kroll trying to hang on these top 4. Caleb McKinney makes a pass on Chris Snyder for third. And you would think that they'll try to make it to lap 62 here. That'll put them, or excuse me, lap 52. That'll put them halfway in the race. You never know, though. They might try and make this one as far as they can, but with the fall off that we saw that last run, you got to think they're going to pick 4 tires. And so you're going to have one stop that you're just sitting there waiting on tires. So you might as well just go, you know, when you're getting the best lap times possible. You cut this into thirds, and you've got 30 lap run at 60. And then so if you do, you know, 225 lap runs, you're looking at being done with the race. You never know, as Jarrett Larder looks like he might try and make a pass on the inside here. Trying to keep some clean air on that truck. We saw what happened to him last time. He just ended up falling back. Wayne Garland gets past to Andrew Deemer for 12th. Yep, that's 12th. It looks like Andrew Deemer's kind of slow. He's off the pace a little bit. And Brandon Puffenbarger, he's about to come into pits, which will put him back 10 laps down. So he's got, if they keep green, he's got a rough night ahead of him. He was second in points coming in. Looks like, you know, if we stay green this whole race, he's probably not going to be second in points coming out. We've still got these 4 cars behind them. Alex Campbell and Corey Kroll are doing all right. They're hanging about the same. Further back, it's 8 seconds. So Caleb McKinney's going to try and make a move on the inside here for second place. Let's see what Jarrett does. Does he fight? Austin's going to go. So Caleb McKinney's not going to have that clean air, but he is going to be able to make the pass. I think you're right, Larry. Tire management's going to be key, along with, you know, who do you have around you to help you. So right now in this front group, we've got 2 Midwest Motorsports guys. We've got a Freedom Motorsports guy and a Chris Snyder. I can't remember his team name. Let's see. It's something esports. Full send esports for Chris Snyder. As, while we're talking about him, Chris Snyder looks like he's trying to make a pass on Jarrett Larder here for third. He is going to make that pass. As we look back up here, Caleb McKinney looks like he's trying to zero in as Brandon Puffenbarger does end up pitting. Can he stay in front of these leaders here? These 2 guys right here are his teammates. So let's see what they do here. He's got fresh tires. And let's see if he dumps the dirty air on Alex Smith here. See how fast he pulls away in the corner. Oh, yeah, look how much faster he is here. And look what that did for Alex Smith in return. So Brandon Puffenbarger is going to stay 10 laps down. He's not going to lose a lap here. But what that dirty air does is it makes Alex Smith slide up the track. Caleb McKinney's going to try and make a pass here. They touch. And Alex Smith got super loose there. Now let's see if Chris Snyder tries to make a pass. Looks like Austin Smith's going to try and go up top to get some momentum back. And we look back on that 4th place car, Jarrett Larder. Looks like he's starting to slide on back. Behind him, it's a 2.5 seconds back to his teammate, Alex Campbell. So he's got a way to be by himself. Maybe the clean air will help him, though. Chris Snyder's looking back on the inside of Austin Smith. He's going to try and slide on up in front of Austin. Does Austin try and make a crossover here? He doesn't. Looks like he's going to give Chris a little nudge on the backstretch. And we should have about 15 more laps in this green flag run. 15 more laps, and you wonder if these guys are going up to the top a little early, but who knows? They're trying to split it down the middle. They're doing fine. But look at what happened. I mean, you see he gets behind a truck like that, and that nose just pushes. So I bet he's just trying to search for clean air here. See what he does. He goes up top. Now he shoots to the bottom. Yeah, he's just trying to look for some clean air. And he'll get it there. It looks like he might have had to let up a little bit to avoid coming into Chris Snyder there in turn 4. As we go on further back, looks like we've got a battle for ninth between Gary Donnellan, Michael Smith, and Jared Mayo. And let's see if Gary can make the pass down here in 1 and 2. He's got a lot of speed. Is he going to try and slide it up in front of Jared Mayo here? He does. Jared Mayo's going to try the crossover. He's going to do the same thing in 3 and 4. They're just doing slide jobs. He's going to try to slide it on up. Gary Donnellan tries the crossover. And it looks like Jared Mayo's going to maintain that position as we look back up. Caleb McKinney, Chris Snyder. Chris Snyder looked like he was going to try and make a pass there, but he got into the wall. Yeah, these cars are really starting to fall off. You've got Jarrett Larder, a 1.5 seconds back. Behind him, he's got a second to his teammate, Alex Campbell. Austin Smith, a 0.5 seconds back. But Caleb McKinney, we haven't really been talking about him that much this season. He's in your lead tonight. Chris Snyder, the guy who said he was going to win them all, he's sitting there in second, pretty close. I think it's going to come down to, you know, who's going to work with you. Corey Kroll looks like he's falling off a little bit. Corey Kroll's back 5 seconds back in 6th. As I said, Chris Snyder had the best iRating. I was wrong. It's this guy in first place, Caleb McKinney. Almost 3,000 iRating. He's at 29.63 coming into the night. He's showing it. Look at him. In first place, really dominating. Pulling away from the rest of these guys. They've now got a 2.5 second gap on Jarrett Larder and his teammate Alex Campbell. Behind him, it's 5 seconds back to 6th. It looks like Austin Smith's trying to do everything he can to stay caught up here as he's about to go a second down. He's 9/10 off the leader. As Jarrett Larder makes a pass, or Alex Campbell makes a pass on Jarrett Larder here. You know, with these two, the good part about this with the Freedom Motorsports guys is they're running 4th and 5th. They're right next to each other, so they can pit together when they do decide to come down pit road. The earliest pitter we had was Corey Kroll and Jarrett Larder. That was lap 27, so we should be expecting to see them come here shortly. Here in about 5 or so laps. And the majority of everybody else was on lap 29 and 30. But it looks like those guys really need it. They're just falling off. You see the big gap that Alex Campbell's made on Jarrett Larder here. Corey Kroll is now, looks like he's maintaining all right. He's 5.5 seconds off the leader. The question is can they make it another green flag pit stop cycle without anybody wrecking? And still, I mean, even then, we're almost 2 fuel runs into this race. And for the most part, I mean, Michael Smith in 11th, Corey Kroll. Corey Kroll is on pit road, but Michael Smith's 15 seconds off the pace, or from the leader. That's pretty good for 50 laps. Corey Kroll, again, is your first car to come into pit road here. And that right there will put him a lap down. Problem with quick pitting is you got to trust everybody else to get in and out of pit road. Casey Gross coming down the pits. Chris Snyder's kind of shortened that gap on Caleb McKinney here. Which one of these two guys bites first? Do you stay out as long as you can? Do you try and quick pit the other one? You've got about 50 laps to go in the race, so you can pit now, pit again in 25 laps at lap 80. Or do you try and stay out for 5 more laps, do 2 20-lap runs? So we've got nobody on pit road right now except for Wayne Garland. Corey Kroll is your first car that has pitted. He's still sitting a lap down. Now you've got Austin Smith that came into pit, a lap 56. So he's looking at 2 22-lap runs for his tires or whatever he wants to do. Let's see if we have any takers this time by. They still stay out, so I'll be interested to see what happens to Austin Smith. You know, 10 or 15 laps ago when Brandon Puffenbarger was on these leaders, we saw what happened to him. Is Wayne Garland's 3 laps down. I don't know what's happened to him. Might have had another penalty. Alex Campbell, he goes into pit. Jarrett Larder goes with him. You see the gap between those two. Hopefully they can get off of pit road around the same time, work together, try and get some of that momentum back. Whoa, that was close. I think Caleb McKinney might have missed the pits. He might have missed the pit road there, as that last lap was 2 seconds off the pace. So I think he missed the pit, so that'll be interesting. Chris Snyder does go in now. Got a lot of people in now. Alex Campbell coming off. You see how far he's going to be behind Austin Smith there. So surely Caleb McKinney comes in this time by. It'll be lap 59. There he is. He's on the brakes. Slowing down a lot sooner this time. Looks like he's going to be in safe. Jared Mayo has yet to pit. Gary Donnellan yet to pit. Michael Smith yet to pit. Here comes Chris Snyder. You see out Austin Smith. That's going to be your gap. Corey Kroll. Looks like that quick pit's going to pay off for him, as he is currently just a few seconds behind Austin Smith in second. Look how far Chris Snyder is back. Caleb McKinney, I'm interested to see what happens to him as he missed his pit entrance. Here's Gary Donnellan and Jared Mayo. And there's Caleb McKinney coming off of pit road. Looks like he's going to come out just after Alex Campbell here. So you see what happened there. It looks like that's going to lose him about 7 seconds, that mistake. As here come these two into pit road. And we go back to Austin Smith. He's going to be your leader after the green flag cycle. And it looks like, again, everybody's going to make it through this green flag cycle without wrecking. We've got 1 to go. Is this going to be a green to green race, or is a green flag to checkered race? We've made it halfway. It's halfway this time by. And I know these drivers are loving this, especially this guy, Austin Smith, in first place. Corey Kroll made a good decision. He's in second. Wayne Garland, he's up here battling. He's in 13th, a lap down, 2 laps down, excuse me. And Andrew Deemer, he's still a lap down, but he's in the pits. When's he going to come out? Looks like he's about to go lap. Andrew Deemer's about to go 2 laps down right now. Brandon Puffenbarger, he's still 9 laps down. Maybe he can make a lap back here. Because I'm wondering if Wayne tries to pass Corey. That is not what Corey wants. But he does not want that clean air dumped on his nose. Or does Wayne just try and help him get up back to Austin Smith here? What happens? But obviously, you know, Corey Kroll was, we were talking about him 5.5 seconds back before that green flag run. He pits on lap 53. So you've got guys out there that pit on lap 60. So those tires are going to go down at the end. But if he can get some clean air on that nose, you know, maybe it won't make that much of a difference. The guy in front of him, Austin Smith, pit on lap 56, so he's got 3 lap newer tires. Wayne Garland behind him, it looks like he's giving him a lot of pressure, pit on lap 53 as well. So as we look at the battle for 4th place here. Again, Caleb McKinney lost all that time with that pit, but now he's got the freshest tires on the track. And it looks like Alex Campbell's doing a good job just trying to drive where he drives. Put some dirty air on that nose, make his car push. And that'll be great for those fresh tires for these other guys, because him driving right up behind somebody like that is going to burn those tires up. Because now it looks like he's going to try and make a pass on the inside. Alex tries to block him. Caleb McKinney ends up letting off. And it looks like that might lose Caleb McKinney a spot. As Jarrett Larder looks to pass him on the outside. Alex Campbell's going to go up top in the straightaway, trying to give Jarrett Larder some draft help. Jarrett Larder's going to try. It looks like he was going to attempt to make a crossover move there, but doesn't quite make it. As we see this gap for first, kind of maintaining. Go back and watch this battle for 4th. Ted McKinney's back where we were a lap ago. He's got another shot at it. Jarrett Larder's trying to put some clean air on that truck. Alex Campbell's a hard guy to pass, and he's a great driver. It's just, you know, it seems like he hasn't been able to put a full race together. Is tonight the race that he finally gets to put together? Kevin McKinney's going to look on the inside here. Going to push Alex down the back stretch. Going into 3, he's about half a lane higher. Looks like he's got a pretty solid run. Alex doing everything he can just to keep that truck. Gets a little nudge there. Keep that truck in front of Caleb McKinney. Caleb's going to run a little bit high here. He's going to get a good run off this. Looks like they might have touched again. Alex Campbell's doing a great job keeping Caleb McKinney behind him. But, you know, Caleb's not scared to make contact, so you wonder when he's had enough here if he might try and nudge Alex a little bit out of his way. Caleb's going to go high. He's going to get a good run here. Alex is going to try and go up, dump some air on that nose. There's that run we were talking about. I'm really impressed with Alex Campbell's driving right now, as they're also closing in on Chris Snyder. Alex pit on lap 57. Caleb McKinney pit on lap 59. So he's got 2 lap newer tires. Now he looks a lane lower. And that gap between first and second is starting to get a little bit greater. Caleb touches the wall there. We go up here real quick and look at the gap. Those older tires are starting to come into effect for Corey Kroll. But right now, the show's right here with Alex Campbell and Caleb McKinney. There goes Brandon Puffenbarger off of pit road. That's going to put him 11 laps down. Really impressed with Alex Campbell's driving right now. Now Caleb gets a little bit of clean air. He's going to get a good run in 2. He's going to get that quarter panel. So is he able to make the pass here? Surely he's going to give it everything he can coming in. He's going to slide up in front of Alex Campbell, and he does make that pass. Now let's see what Alex tries to do if he tries to get it back. He's got speed. He's going to take it high. But it looks like Caleb McKinney's just going to, those 2 tires, 2-lap tires are going to be a little bit better for him. I figured, you know, with how good Alex was doing at dumping dirty air on that nose, that would, those newer tires would start to eat up as they look at catching up to Corey Kroll here as he's really falling off. But now that Caleb McKinney has that dirty air again, I wonder if Alex Campbell can't not make it past. See what he does here in 3 and 4. It's Chris Snyder. Looks like he might be stuck behind Wayne Garland. That's what Austin Smith wants to see. Brandon Puffenbarger's trying to make his way back through this pack. Looks like Chris Snyder's probably going to make the pass here. Brandon Puffenbarger's going to scoot past all of them in one turn. Looks like he's trying to get as much as he can, but also just trying to stay out of their way here. Alex Campbell's going to make the pass on Corey Kroll here for 4th. That puts Caleb McKinney back up in 3rd place after the mishap he had. And he is 2.5 seconds behind Austin Smith. So they're all starting to reel him in now. So now they just got to get past Wayne Garland and Brandon Puffenbarger. But Brandon's got the fastest car on track right now. Chris Snyder hunting down Austin Smith. With about 25 laps to go. So, let's see how old these tires are. We talked about maybe pitting at about lap 82 or so, depending on where your tires were at. And now we do have some cars on pit road, right when we say that. It's been about 20 laps since they last pitted. Casey Gross, pit road. Andrew Deemer, pit road. So it looks like Casey Gross is going to try this strategy. Here he comes out. Looks like he might have just done a gas and go. He might have not gotten 4 tires. Let's see if that starts to drag other people into pits. This is what's going to make the difference in this race, is this pit stop. Corey Kroll comes in. He's coming into the pit road. Let's see what everybody else does. We got 25 laps to go here. Joshua Neal comes in. Now, if there's a caution, these guys are in some trouble. Looks like Austin Smith might bring it into pits this time. Nope, he's going to keep it out. But the guy behind him isn't. Chris Snyder coming in.
All right, man.
Whoa, we've got a wreck. Where is it? We had a wreck. Jared Mayo in 6th. Let's see what happens here. Nope, it wasn't him. I heard it up here. Was it Jarrett Larder? It was Alex Campbell, guys. Alex Campbell is going to be the call to caution there. Whoa, Wayne Garland. So Wayne Garland's going to run in to Alex Campbell here, who's going into pit. Oh, no. Now we got saying Chris Snyder crashed. What happened here? Hold on. Did he just wreck? No, he didn't. He's just coming into the pit road here. I don't know what he's doing. Let's go back to live. There's our pit times. This changes everything, guys. With 23 laps to go, we get our first caution of the race. Jarrett Larder had a slow time on his left side with 15 seconds, looks like there. Let's look at their pit lane time. That'd be better for us. About 44 seconds, 45 seconds, 41 seconds. Let's hear they come in. Second lap. Are they coming to the choose cone here? They might be. Let's go to our... Corey Kroll is the leader. I'm showing Austin Smith the leader. Austin Smith is your first racer on the lead lap. Because they're going to be choosing next time by for the leaders. As they go into 3 and 4 here, you see Corey Kroll, Joshua Neal, Brandon Puffenbarger. Now, it looks like they're in the lead, but they're not. Those guys quick pit, and that's what I was talking about. You know, you got to be careful because somebody might wreck, and it ended up being Alex Campbell. But Alex Campbell's sitting in 7th, so maybe he didn't have too much damage from that wreck. Wayne Garland is coming out of the pits right now. He might have got some pretty good damage from that. As here, we can figure out real quick. Let's go to Alex Campbell. Go to this view. Doesn't look like he's got anything to me, guys. Let's go behind him to Casey Gross and see if we can't see it from the inside. I think that car's going to be okay. Alex Campbell. Yes, it looks like most everybody picks the outside line here. Let's go look at Wayne's car real quick. Just see if... Looks like he's going to be all right, too. So... As you look at that, we've got 3 cars. You've got Caleb McKinney on your inside, Jarrett Larder on the inside, Gary Donnellan on the inside, and on the outside, we've got Austin Smith, Jared Mayo, Michael Smith, Alex Campbell, Chris Snyder, Casey Gross, Corey Kroll, Joshua Neal, Wayne Garland. As they come into 3 and 4, we did have some guys that pit before that caution happened. So Casey Gross back in 8th, hasn't pit since lap 77. All these other guys just pit on lap 81. As the pace truck comes off, it's going to be Austin Smith on the outside who's going to be in control of this restart. There's the restart zone. There's the green flag. We're going to have 20 lap shootout here. Just ignore that red dot on the top. And Caleb McKinney does not get a good restart. Austin Smith's going to have a great jump on everybody. With everybody on new tires, though, I think that draft's going to be really important here. Let's look at all this movement we have. These guys have been antsy. They haven't been this close to the lead in a long time. As Chris Snyder now has all these people to work through. Caleb McKinney jumps inside. Gary Donnellan's going sideways. Chris Snyder's in the grass too. Now it looks like they're starting to even out a little bit. That wreck kind of checked everybody up, and Austin Smith's doing his best to check out, but he's got Jarrett Larder, who's been up here all night trying to get a win for Freedom Motorsports. You got Alex Campbell back there too. So it looks like that 9 car is going to be all right from the contact that made this caution come out. And Chris Snyder, who's been up fighting all night, is now 2.5 seconds back after running in the grass. Jarrett Larder's getting pretty close to making a move for the lead here. We'll see if he can't get past Austin Smith. There he goes. He's trying to keep some trying to keep some clean air on that truck. He's going to get a run here down the front stretch. Where does he go? Does he take it high? Does he take it low? He's going to shoot low. I think he's going to at least get sideways with him here. He's going to dive it in deep. Is he going to slide up? He does slide up in front of Austin Smith. Now he's going to have to throw a block because Austin Smith's going to get a good run going down the back. Jarrett Larder's your new leader with 17 laps to go. He's going to get past Austin. He's got his teammate Alex Campbell back in third. Behind him, Jared Mayo. Michael Smith is in fifth place. He's got Casey Gross pushing him. Corey Kroll on the inside. Looks like Chris Snyder might take it 3 wide. There he goes. Oh, big wreck. Michael Smith. Oh, no. Michael Smith lost. Casey Gross involved. Let's go back and watch this replay. Ooh, that was a rough hit. Rough hit. So Casey Gross is pushing him into the turn here. Oh, yeah, he just tapped that quarter panel. Michael Smith wasn't quite able to save it. Not quite able to save it. Let's go back and watch this from the cockpit. We'll see. So he tried to get it wrangled back in. Just couldn't quite get it. Just gets tapped. He's doing a good job. Yeah, just overcorrects just the slightest bit. Let's watch that from Casey Gross. We've got 2 cars on pit road. It's going to be Michael Smith and Brandon Puffenbarger. So there's the tap. He saved it. Boom. There's nowhere to go, man. Nowhere to go. And his steering is completely gone. So he's going into pits here to try and get this thing fixed as good as he can at least. Corey Kroll's going to go into pit road. Casey Gross going into pit road. Guys, I think this is the right move here. I think this is a good move. I think they only have 3 sets of tires, maybe 4 sets. So if they've got 4 sets, I mean, they've all pit. Corey Kroll's pit, this will be his last set of tires. 14 laps to go. I think all these other guys might have 1 more set. Might get 1 more caution here in 4 laps. Corey Kroll's going to be wishing he still had one. Casey Gross has a lot of work to get done. Michael Smith has a lot of work to get done. Hopefully those 2 can get back out on the track. That was a rough hit. And Jarrett Larder's going to be leading this group. I'm not gonna pull him, guys, because I don't pull him very much. I don't want to pull him in the middle of a race with 14 laps to go. I just want to let him focus. That's our second caution of the night, guys. This has been a great race. We had 2 full green flag runs going into the pits. Somebody wrecked, and let's just look at where we're running. So right now, what it's looking like from top to bottom is Jarrett Larder, Austin Smith, Alex Campbell, Jarrett Mato, Joshua Neal, Chris Snyder, Caleb McKinney, Corey Kroll. Everybody else goes into pit that time to get a set of tires, I believe. There's Gary Donnellan. Wayne Garland got some damage from that wreck. He might just be going in to get some tires, and Brandon Puffenbarger is going to be going in as well to get some tires. Can Jarrett Larder do what he needs to do? If we pull back up to the standing, let's see where he's at. As of right now, Jarrett Larder is in 5th, and he is quite a few points back. It's looking like he's almost 20 points back. He's, let's see, 18 points back. So a win here would be really good for him, if, assuming Austin, you know, finishes 2nd. That's a 5-point gap, goes down to like a 10-point lead. I mean, that's really good for him, or 15-point lead, which would put him in about 3rd. Can he do it? Looks like they're going to be choosing this time by. Surely he takes the top here, right? Let's see. Jarrett's going to pick the bottom. Austin goes up top. Alex Campbell's going to go on the inside. You're going to have teammates on the bottom. Jared Mayo in 2nd. So you see everybody else start to fill in. Corey Kroll's on the inside. He wants a win. And Chris Snyder, that's the guy we're watching. I've been watching at least, seeing if he can hold up to what he said last week. He's starting in the 3rd row, guys. He's been fast. We're going to have 11-lap shootout here. Do they make it all the way back? It looks like Michael Smith's not going to be able to make it back out here by the time the green flag goes. And Casey Gross is still on the pits as well. Both of those guys are still trying to get their repairs done. Brandon Puffenbarger is 9 laps down. I don't think he's quite going to be able to make it back to this, but hopefully he can get a spot or two if Casey and Michael can't get back out here in time. Casey Gross is back on the track. Actually, I believe Casey Gross might have left. Wayne Garland's out there. Yes, Casey Gross is out of the race. They've taken it to the garage. Jarrett Larder's going to be your leader here. There's the green flag. He gets a good start. Alex Campbell, his teammate behind him, doesn't get the greatest start, but he's doing all right. We've got fresh tires in 6th place, guys. Fresh tires in 6th with Corey Kroll. Once these tires get heated up, I'm sure it'll make a difference. Austin Smith's going to go on the inside trying to make a pass here. Can he slide up in front of Jarrett Larder? Alex Campbell's going to try his shot. Again, we talk about it every week. Alex Campbell's always one of the fastest guys we have. Something happens. Is this week his week? Caleb McKinney trying to make his way on the inside of Corey Kroll. If we go green here, Corey Kroll's in a really good position. He's just going to have to make it through this traffic. Jarrett Larder starting to slide back. Chris Snyder on the inside of Jarrett Larder for 3rd. Alex Campbell's getting really close to that bumper. He's going to look inside here. He shoots it to the inside. Alex Campbell in 3 and 4 trying to pass Austin Smith for the lead. They're going to be even coming out of 4. Jarrett's going to go to the inside, try and help his teammate. And they've got the speed here. Alex has the help. There's a push going into 1 and 2. Is he going to slide up? Does that clear spot? He does. He makes it out in front of Austin, but Austin gets his nose out. Austin has the quarter panel. Jarrett Larder almost goes off the track. He's going to slide up there 4 wide for 3rd place. 4 wide for 3rd. Corey Kroll looks like he's going to come out of that good. All right, we've got Alex Campbell, Austin Smith side by side, 7 laps to go. Corey Kroll looking for some clean air, trying to get that car with fresh tires out on front. He's going to go help his teammate out, Austin Smith, trying to get him out in front. This is not what Alex Campbell wanted to see. We've got 3 Midwest Motorsports guys out in the front on the top row. But Alex Campbell's doing everything he can. Looks like they're going to touch there. Got Chris Snyder just kind of watching, waiting for a hole to open up. And we've got, what, 8 guys right here, and it's anybody's race. As we go, 6 laps to go. And Chris Snyder still looking for a spot. Looks like Caleb McKinney's going to shoot it down on the inside. We're 3 wide for the lead. And that slides Austin Smith out. That puts Austin Smith in the second row. Chris Snyder's going to push Caleb McKinney. Can Alex Campbell hang on in the middle now? He's got the quarter panel. He's going to get a really good run if Austin Smith can help him. Chris Snyder's going to get some clean air going in. Let's see what happens here. Guys, it's anybody's race. We're going 4 to go here. And Alex Campbell's not quite going to get clear down the front stretch. He gets a little bit of a nudge from Austin Smith. And he's got Caleb McKinney on that inside with that fender, not giving him any dumping air on that spoiler side drafting. Austin Smith's trying to push him out in front so he can try and make a move for the lead. They're still side by side. As Alex Campbell makes it out in front, he's your sole leader. Who to go with and who to block. Gary Donnellan's going to look on the inside of Jarrett Larder back there. They're 3 wide for second. Chris Snyder and Austin Smith touch. They almost get into Caleb McKinney there. And this is exactly what Alex Campbell wants to see, coming with 2 to go. As they've got a big run on Alex Campbell. Caleb McKinney just trying to stay out in front of these other 2 cars. As he's going to get a good push from Austin Smith going down the back. Coming out of 4, Alex Campbell's going to take your white flag right here. He's got 4 turns. Can Alex Campbell get his first win? Chris Snyder, Austin Smith battling behind him. As Caleb McKinney's inching closer. And he was the reason the caution came out. We thought his race was over. He's going down the backstretch. It looks like he's going to have to make one more stop here. Caleb McKinney's getting pretty close now. But it's going to be Alex Campbell at Las Vegas. He's going to take the win from race 5. Alex Campbell. We didn't even think he was going to make this race. Burn it down, Alex. And man, I used to be a teammate with this guy, and he was so fast. And I say it every week, something always happens. Something always happens to Alex Campbell. It happened tonight. We watched it. Him and Wayne got together coming into pit road, but he was able to overcome that, gets that clean air at the end. He makes the blocks that he needs to make, and man, what a race for this guy, and he gets the win. Let's look at our results here. We've got Alex Campbell, Caleb McKinney, Chris Snyder, Austin Smith, Corey Kroll, Jarrett Larder, Gary Donnellan, Joshua Neal, Jared Mayo, Wayne Garland, Brandon Puffenbarger, Casey Gross, Michael Smith, Andrew Deemer. So Brandon Puffenbarger, you hate to see his night. Something happened early on, and he ended up 9 laps down. He did make a lap back. He started 10 laps down. Casey Gross and Michael Smith after that caution get 14, 15 laps down. You've got Andrew Deemer 42 laps down. I don't know what happened to him. He might have just got tired of running 2 laps down. So anyways, Alex Campbell is your winner tonight. Chris Snyder. We talked to him last week. He was hoping to finish again in first, but hey, third place is not too shabby at all. Let's go back. Let's start here. What a race, guys. What a race. And we're just waiting on these drivers. We're going to pull in your top 3 for interviews. And we've got Chris Snyder. And coming in third tonight's going to be Chris Snyder. Chris, this is Nate up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, we were talking about it all day, wanting to see you come across in victory lane. You ended up third, which is not too shabby at all. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to win this one. I that caution whenever I was going into the pits really screwed me. Don't know what it was for. Kind of unnecessary, if you ask me. We were green flagged the entire race and just got people not paying attention late, I guess. But yeah, that last restart was hectic, to say the least. We I think we're 4 wide at one point. It was kind of wild, and we were beating doors there, and I did everything I possibly could. I know Gary got loose and sent me through the grass, but I stayed in it and worked my way up to 6th after that. So I just kept fighting. I mean, I'm happy with third. Don't get me wrong, but really wanted to put this Mountain Dew Voodoo Chevrolet in victory lane.
Yeah, man, when I saw you and Gary going through the grass, I thought your race was over, but you were fast all night. You were able to round it up together and finish up in third. Man, you had a great race. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, my teammate Jared, he was having a phenomenal night. Was up there in the lead pack there toward the end, and thought he might have a top 5 in him, but just something took him out there late. But you for broadcasting too, Austin, Corey, and Brandon for putting this thing on. And, yeah, just disappointed, but we'll try to get it next week.
Speaking of next week, before I do let you go, next week is at Iowa. How do you feel about that track? Where are you expecting to run? Stuff like that.
It's one of my better tracks. I haven't ran it though since the repave, so I got to do a little bit of testing to see. But I like those like just under a mile type tracks, like the Richmond, Iowa type tracks. So hoping to go out and win it, but uh, just got to stay up toward the front. If I get back in the back, it's not fun back there.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen in the back. That's anywhere you go, man. Hey, good job tonight. We look forward to talking to you next week at Iowa.
Thank you.
And that was Chris Snyder, your third place finisher. He's fast. It's as long as we've been a part of this league, that was his second race, and it looks like he's going to be one of those guys that week in week out is pretty tough to beat. So second place was going to be Caleb McKinney. He was another guy that was up there all day. I'm interested to see what he has to say. And Caleb, this is Nate in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought you had that race under control, and then it looked like, from our point of view, you might have missed pit road. Let's talk about your race.
Yeah, so from the start, I had no audio. So that was a big thing that I struggled with throughout the night. And I ran good. Got a decent finish second, but that final second to last caution, I believe, where I got the black flag, I was trying to fix my sound and it didn't work. So
Yeah, y'all were 4 wide, man. I was just waiting on somebody to hit somebody, but man, they did hit each other, but y'all were able to keep them going straight for the most part. It was really fun to watch. You were fast all night, and I hated to see you miss pit road like that because I really thought this was going to be your race to win, and it almost was. You get clean air at the end there, and nobody really knows what happens. So before we let you go, man, Iowa is next week. How do you think you're going to run there?
last season I got second, so let's hope for a good finish next week, and consistency is key. So just got to work on that,
I'd say,
and that'll be it.
yeah, with these seasons, man, consistency is most definitely key. You did good tonight. We look forward to seeing to you. You finished second last season. Maybe you can get P1 this season. Good job tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Dominic Barbagallo for this amazing paint scheme, and that'll be it.
All right, Caleb. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
That was Caleb McKinney, your second place driver, man. We talked about him all week or all day. He was one of those fastest guys and ended up missing pit road there at the end. As we're watching the end of the race here. Without further ado, let's pull in your winner from tonight, Alex Campbell. Alex, you got a copy?
I gotcha, Nate.
Man, it seems like week in, week out, we talk about it every week. Something happens to the 9 car. And it even happened this week. You got turned around, but you ended up on top finally. How does it feel?
It feels great. Yeah, like you said, it seems like week in, week out. I can find a way to lose, but glad I finally found a way to actually get a win.
And I was talking about it, man. I thought that your race was over when you got rear-ended. How much optionals did you have from that?
It was 49 seconds, so I pitted. I ate my medicine, went ahead, restarted ninth at the tail end of the lead lap, and gained some positions before that next caution, and then had a really good restart and was able to hang out there and hold off Austin and Caleb there for what was it, the last 6 or 7 laps.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, we watched you in the middle of the race in like a battle for fourth. All race, you were doing a really, really good job of dumping some dirty air on those cars. Were you doing that on purpose?
Sometimes I was. So after some of the green flag pit stops, I was trying to save my tires a little bit. So I was dumping dirty air on the cars behind me that had fresher tires or were trying to burn them up, just so I could save track position. Because it seems like all night I had a really good long run truck. So
Yeah,
more or
man.
less, yes.
There was one time where Caleb McKinney had about 10 lap fresher tires than you, and you made it hard to pass. We were talking about how hard you were to pass, but man, I'm happy for you. You finally get that win for Freedom Motorsports, and you couldn't have had a better race minus that little caution that happened. But you got your damage fixed and ended up P1. So before we let you go, man, Iowa's next week. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good. I like the short tracks. It's just going to depend on how many people we get in there and um, how you can save your tires going through lap traffic and make sure you don't pit early and get stuck a couple laps down, because you'll definitely go a lap or two down if you pit before the leaders do.
Yeah. All right, man. Before we let you go, you got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to my wife for letting me come out here and race with y'all week in and week out. I want to shout out to you, Nate. Thanks for running things up in the booth, and yeah, thanks Corey, Austin, all the guys that make this possible. Couldn't do it without everybody, so thanks.
All right, Alex. Well, man, we're so happy for you to finally get that win, and hopefully, you've got that first one. You can just come out here and start dominating every week because you've got the speed for it, man.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Alex. We'll see you next week.
All right, take care.
Bye. And that's Alex Campbell, your winner tonight in the 9 car. Man, what a race. We had 60 laps that went green, and then we started wrecking, and we wrecked some more, ended up having 2 or 3 cautions. And, you know how that goes. But Alex Campbell is your winner tonight, and we are going on to Iowa next week. We'll update you with the standings. We'll have a highlight video out by the end of the week, and probably expect Friday. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Nate from NLR, and we will see you next week.